In this tutorial, we are going to create send email form and use mailgun service to send email. The front end of this project is implemented by React, the backend Node.js, and for show messages, we use React Hostify, and sending AJAX requests, we use Axios. Let's see how it works. We have a simple form and user can enter email, subject, and message and click on submit. We show sending a status, and after successful sending message, we show this toast, and inside the inbox, user will get the email like this. What you will learn in this tutorial is how to send email using Mailgun, how to implement a backend API using Node.js, how to use React to create input forms like this, and how to show messages and send AJAX requests using Axios. If you are ready, let's get to code. Open your VS Code and from terminal menu, click on New Terminal. Go to your desktop folder, cd desktop, and create React project using this command, npx create -react app, and set a name for your app. I'm going to set it to react-node-send email and press enter. Wait a while to install all packages for your React application. Then go to the React Node Send Email folder and type code . By running this command, a new instance of VS Code will open, and in the left panel, we have the project folder. You can close the previous window and continue working on this one. Again, open New Terminal and run npm start to start the project in your browser. Here is the result. In this address, localhost colon 3000, we have our React project running. What I'm gonna do here is to convert it to a send email form. Go back to VS Code, inside src, open app.js, hide terminal and explorer, get rid of content inside header, and create a form here. Inside form, create heading 1 and set the title to send email. Then create a div after heading 1, and in the first div, I'm going to create a label for email, set HTML4 to email, and after label, create an input, set type to email, and save your code to format it like this. What we need to do here is to use an state to handle change in this input box. So when user enters something, we want to catch it using a state hook. So after app function, define a state for email. Use const, and inside a square bracket, the first parameter is the variable and second parameter is a function that change this variable and set it equal to use state. The default value for email is empty string, and import use state from React. Press Ctrl space and press enter to import it from React. Get rid of this import, we don't need it anymore. And let's use set email inside input box. Set unchanged prop to an arrow function that accepts event, and inside this arrow function we call set email and pass e.target.value. e.target.value is the value that you entered in the input box and is gonna be set to the email state. Save the code to format it, and let's go for defining the second input box. It's the subject. Here is the code for subject. Like email, we have a label. The HTTP4 is subject, so we connect this label to this input box using this ID, because the ID is subject and here HTML4 is subject. In the input box, set the type to text, and for unchange, use set subject, not set email. So we need to go above here and create a state for subject. Do the same for message. We need to get the message from user and scroll down. After subject, create another div for message. Here is the code for message. Like subject, create a label and set HTML4 to the text area using the ID here. And for unchange, update the message with the value that user entered inside the text area. Let's go for the last div. It's a button. Create an empty label and next to the empty label, create a button, set type to submit and the caption to submit. Let's check the results. Here we have this form. Let's make it beautiful. Scroll up, control click on app.css, and at the end of it, we are going to add some classes to make it beautiful. The first class is for immediate div in the form. Using this selector, I just select direct child of the form, set display to flex, justify content, space between, align item center and margin to 1 rem. Save the code. Much better. Let's go for the next style. For the labels inside div, set margin to 1. And for input box and text area inside the div in the form, create padding, set minimum width to 20 rem, and set font family to a sans serif font like Verdana. Save the code. Much better. By using flex and space between, we've pushed the buttons, input boxes, and text area to right. If I click on submit, it refreshes the page. That's not what we want. We are going to handle it. Let's go to the app.js and in the form, for onSubmit, define submit handler function. We need to define it right before return. Define submit handler function. It's an async function that accepts events. And to get rid of refreshing the page, we need to call e.preventDefault. If email, subject, or message are empty, we need to show a toast and ask user to enter them. So I'm using toast from React Toastify. Open your terminal, click on plus, and npm install React Toastify. Also install Axios too. We need to send AJAX request, so we need Axios to send AJAX request. Press enter. After installing this package, control space on toast, click on React Toastify, so it's gonna be imported like this. Also, we need to use toast container from React Toastify, and above the header here, use this component, set position to button center and limit to 1. So we are going to show only one toast at a time. And add React Toastify CSS using this code. From this address, react-toastify/dist/react-toastify.css. Save the code and let's check the results. Click submit. It says, please fill email subject and message. Error message from React Toastify. The next step is creating a try-catch block. Define try and catch. In the try part, first of all, set loading to false. We are going to show a loading box. I'm using set loading hook. So we need to define it like what we did for message, subject, and email. Define and a state for loading, and by default it's false. Set loading to true and send an AJAX request using Axios. Use await axios.post to this address /API/email. We need to implement this backend API later. The payload for this request is email, subject, and message. So we are passing this data to backend to send an email. For Axios, control space on it, press tab to import Axios from Axios. After successful sending email, get rid of loading box and show this success toast based on the message from backend. In the error part, catch part, set loading to false and show error message. For error, we check the error.response object, and if it does exist, we check the data in the response, and if it exists, we show the message inside the data from backend. Otherwise, show the regular or common error message using error.message. Save the code to get rid of extra lines, and here is the submit handler function. Great. Next step is in the button. Instead of showing submit, I'm going to make it conditional. If loading, show sending, otherwise show submit. Also, if I'm sending data, the button should be disabled. Use disabled prop and set it to loading. Save the code and let's check the result. If I click on submit, I get this error. Enter email, subject and message and click on submit. It says request failed with status code 404 because this API does not found. So what we did is to implement the front end part, and it's time to go for the backend. Go to the project explorer, right click on empty space, new folder, and set the folder name to backend. Open your terminal, click on plus and cd backend. Then run npm init to create a node project. Press enter for questions, and at the end we have package.json here. Go to .gitignore and get rid of a slash before node module, because we are going to get rid of node modules inside backend folder as well as the node module in the root folder. Save the code and install these packages. Express, we are going to create a web server. .env, we are going to read configuration from .env file. And mailgun.js, we're gonna send email using mailgun. After installing this, right click on backend folder, new file, and set file names to server.js. Hide Explorer and terminal. You can do it from the view menu. And what we're gonna do here is to create a server. Let's start by importing Express using require express.env and mailgun. Then call .env.config. We need to create a new file name .env inside backend folder, and what we're gonna set here is the mailgun domain and mailgun API key. I'll let you know how to set these options later. Let's go back to server.js, and after reading the configuration here, the next step is calling mg function and assign it to mailgun. So what we do here is to call mg and pass API key and domain from the environment variables, and then we use the mailgun to send email. Next step is creating app from Express, save the code to get rid of extra lines, and use two middleware. The first one is express.json and second one is express.url encoded set extended to true. By having these middlewares, we can get the payload of the API request and convert it to rec.body. Next step is creating a post API. The address is /API/email. And what we do here is to define a function that accepts request and response, and inside that we get the email subject and message from rec.body. They are the data that user entered in the input boxes. Next step is calling mailgun, and from mailgun object call messages, and from messages call send function. In the send function, we pass an object that contains from. So in the email, user will see this in the from section. It's gonna be your name. 2, it's the email that user entered in the text box. Subject and HTML. Here is the message that user entered. I'm going to use HTML to make it formatted like this. The second parameter is a function that accepts error and body. If there is an error, then I need to console log the error and send this message, set a status code to 500. It's internal server error, and the message is error in sending email. For the else part, everything is okay, so I just log the body and send email sent successfully. Save the code to format it. At the very end, we need to get the port from environment variable and call app.lesson on the port, and if everything is okay, it console log this message. Save the code, open your terminal, and while you are in backend folder, type node server.js. Serve at this address. If I click on it, I get this error message. That's okay. And here I'm going to connect this backend to the frontend. Go to the package.json in the root folder, and after the name, add proxy. Set proxy to http://localhost:4000. By having this code, all AJAX requests like this will be redirected or will be proxied to this server. Let's stop the front end and run it again to apply this change. And here it's gonna reload the project. Let's test it. Enter your email. Hello, how are you? And click on submit. We are getting this error message. API key value must be defined. Let's go and get API key and domain from Mailgun website. Go to mailgun.com, click on get started, then enter your information and your credit card data and click on create account. After create account, you need to verify your email, and after verification, go to this address app.mailgun.com/app/dashboard. Here go to the sending. Here we are going to use the sandbox domain. So we just test sending email, but for real email sending, you need to follow the process of verifying your domain and use your domain there. Here is the sandbox. Click on it, copy the sandbox email, right click, copy. Go to .env file here and set mailgun_domain to the value that you copied in the website. Next step is getting the API key. Click on API keys, click on view, copy it, and for the key, type mailgun_API_key equal to the value that you copied from the website. Save the code, then stop, close all npm terminal instances, open terminal again, then run npm start, then create another terminal, go to backend, type node server.js. Go back to previous page and enter the email that you are going to test in the authorized recipients. I'm entering my email and press save recipients. Then you need to go to your email account, click on Mailgun email and click on I agree, click yes. And if you go back and refresh the page, you will have your email verified. So you can test sending email by authorized recipients. Let's check the results. Enter your email, subject, and message and click on submit. It's sending and it says email sent successfully. Go to your mail account, Awesome. Here we are getting the email. Hello, Basir. How are you? And it's coming from sandbox.mgsend.net. Great. We successfully implemented send email form using React and Node and Mailgun. That's it about this lesson. Until next lessons. Bye-bye.